Hello, everyone. It's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. So Tesla's been having a rough go of it since their peak in November, where they were almost trading at $500 a share. They've lost almost 50%. They're trading around $300 a share, and it's for a combination of reasons. They lost a lawsuit where they have to pay over $240 million in damages due to a fatality where they were held partially responsible because of FSD and their marketing around FSD. And then the sales have really taken a dive lately, especially in Europe. In Europe, battery electric car sales are up 30%, but Tesla sales are down 30% for the fifth straight month in a row. And worldwide, Tesla sales aren't doing any better. You can see here number of Tesla delivers worldwide starting in 2016. You can see there's been a rapid increase up until 2023 where they peaked out. And then in 2024, sales dropped a little bit. And then in 2025, first quarter of 2025 is another drop from 2024. And so they're back at like almost 2022 levels in the first quarter sales of 2025. This is, I think, in a large part due to Elon Musk's political activity. We talked about this before. Generally, EV buyers tend to skew a little more liberal, and he's alienated that base. And then because of his recent feud with Trump, he's alienated the conservative base as well. So he's kind of alienated everyone. And so I think Tesla is being hurt by the political activities of its CEO at this point. Some of you guys may disagree with that, but I think that's got to be the reason. I mean, they are also facing more competition from other car manufacturers as they sort of catch up, and then especially in Europe where Chinese electric vehicles are being sold, that is a huge competitor to them. And then I think Cybertruck has been a big flop for them. You know, they Elon Musk was saying that he thought he was going to make 100,000 of these or 200,000 of these per year and sell 100 to 200,000 of these per year. It peaked out at I think like 14,000, 17, yeah. It peaked out in third quarter of 2024 where they sold 17,000 of these, but last quarter they sold 4,300. And that's less than the number of Hummer EV sold. Now the Hummer EV is just a monstrosity. It should not exist. And I think Cybertrucks are kind of almost in the same thing. Now, I would say, from my standpoint, the Hummer EV is far worse. That thing is so wasteful and inefficient. That's a vehicle that should not exist, in my opinion. The Cybertruck, has its good points and bad points. It's very polarizing in its appearance. And if you guys remember, I had a reservation in for a Cybertruck. It just was way too expensive, and it's still way too expensive. When I put in the order for it, Elon Musk was saying it was going to be $39,000, and I said, well, you know what? I'll pay $39,000 for a Cybertruck. That still hasn't happened, obviously. Okay, so sales are way down on the Cybertruck. That's not selling even remotely close to what Elon Musk thought. There's like Cybertrucks like piling up in U.S. shopping malls. So when all this is happening, Tesla decided it was a great idea to open a diner. So they opened this diner on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. I have not personally gone to it yet, but maybe I'll swing by at some point. It's really interesting. It's kind of a retro futuristic diner, and it has basically like your normal American. So it has seats for 250 people, 80 supercharger stalls. You can watch movies on this like giant. They have two giant screens in the parking lot, and then let's see. I think there's a menu here. Yeah, so here's the menu. So this is probably why I'm never gonna go here. This is not food that I would eat. This is standard American diner food, and this diet of like burgers, hot dogs, tuna melts, grilled cheese, fried chicken sandwich, fries, and fountain drinks. This is basically what's known in medical research circles as the standard American diet. And the standard American diet, or SAD, or the SAD diet, and they call it the SAD diet on purpose. is known to cause most, if not, the vast majority of chronic health problems that plague developed countries, especially in America. Obesity, diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, all that stuff. So it's an abundance of calorie-dense, nutrient-poor food and beverage choices. So if you look at the Tesla Diner, this is all very calorie-dense, so a lot of calories. It's got a lot of macronutrients, so that means it has a lot of carbohydrates, it has a lot of protein, it has a lot of fat, but it has very little micronutrients. There's like no vitamin K, vitamin E, very few minerals, no phytochemicals. There's no isoflavones, flavonoids, anthocyanins, resveratrol, phytonutrients like that, and flavonoids and carotenoids. There's just none of that. You're very, very little. I mean, you got a little bit in the lettuce, maybe. The pickles might have some small residual amount of nutrients that they had. But basically, this is processed white flour and processed meat, or that, and then just fat in the form of cheese. Super unhealthy, but tastes great. What I do like about it is they have these cute little they have the food is delivered in these cartons that look like Cybertrucks, so it's kind of cute. And maybe they're trying to sell Cybertrucks. However, the most interesting thing about this whole thing for me was one of our viewers, a pretty well-known viewer actually, let me know that if you look at the Tesla Diner from an aerial view, it is essentially an Aptera logo. So let's take a look at that. So here's the Tesla Diner right here, and here's the two movie screens. Oh yeah. So this is the other annoying thing about this is this screen, obviously the city permitted it and they allowed it, but it was kind of an a-hole move, because look at this. There's an apartment building with balconies right there, and they built this giant 4-story tall or 5-story tall movie screen right in front of it. And so these poor people now have no view whatsoever. They used to have a view of West Hollywood. Now they have the view of the back of this screen, which kind of sucks for them. And if I was a tenant in here or the owner of this apartment building, I would be pretty upset about that. But anyways, I digress. This is the aerial view of the Tesla Diner. And does this look familiar to you? It should, because it looks very similar to the Aptera logo. So basically, the Tesla Diner is an Aptera logo if you look at it from the top. So I thought that was kind of cool, and our viewer thought that was very interesting, and I thought it was kind of funny. So tell me what you guys think about the whole Tesla Diner, and did they make it look like the Aptera logo on purpose or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.